Kenya has shifted from a drought that threatened millions of people without food in 2011 to floods that are sweeping through fields and compromising harvests. Food prices remain high, and consumers in East Africa's biggest economy are hurting. VOA's Ndiho has more.
At one of Nairobi's biggest open-air food markets, the colors of ripe fruit and vegetables displayed in heaps around muddy stalls brighten up a dull, rainy day. The Kangemi market, which lies strategically along the highway that links the fertile Rift Valley region to the Kenyan capital, has always been cheaper than what you'd find deeper within the city. But in the last 5 years, buyers say the cost of food, like in every part of the country, has continued to rise.
We have not seen the food prices drop anywhere, because even when we go to the wholesale market, we find that the prices are high, and when we try and sell it to our buyers, it is impossible.
Record high prices last year helped to fuel the demonstrations in East Africa. Domestic food prices remain high due to a combination of large quantities of food imports and other factors such as regional trade restrictions, hoarding, civil unrest, poor governance, and climate change. A United Nations report released in April showed that the world food prices eased after rising during the first quarter of this year. Economic analyst James Shikwati says supermarkets were keeping prices high for consumers willing to pay more for convenience, forcing wholesale markets like Kangemi to follow in order to stay relevant.
The causes of food prices going up in Kenya is the disruption of transportation system caused by the heavy rains. That's one of that. And then, of course, the other cause is the competition between what I would call the supermarket surge vis-a-vis the open-air markets.
In another part of Kenya, the Maasai people of Nemlok in Amboseli region are trying to adapt to the changing weather patterns by coming up with new farming methods aimed at improving their food security. They are traditionally livestock keepers, but successive droughts have decimated many of their animals. So they broke with tradition and now cultivate tomatoes, maize, and beans. United Nations Development Program UNDP Administrator Helen Clark recently visited the area ahead of the launch of the African Human Development Report. Helen noted that across Africa, a big answer to fighting hunger and food shortages is empowering women farmers.
This cooperative of women, working with a local non-governmental organisation, has found a way to move forward. So this story needs to be told many times to inspire other communities to think that it is possible to be able to have a livelihood as life around you is changing, as the climate's changing and things can't be done the way they used to be.
Analysts say tourism is a major earner of foreign exchange for Kenya, and the community has recognized that conserving can also bring economic benefits. Some critics say the government has failed to harness the water available for shortage and farming in areas that require irrigation, and to serve populations without access to drinking water and electricity. Shikawati says Kenya needs to prioritize food security as much as it does other sectors of the economy.
If Kenya continues to rely on other countries to govern its food security policies, then they can never be food secure, because it's the same comparison with national security. They try as much as possible to have an internal mechanism.
After decades of neglect, critics are urging African governments to pay more attention to the importance of investing in agriculture, if not for food security, then for political stability, as a way to avoid the riots over high food prices that affected several African countries last year. Paul Ndiho, VOA News.
Well, for more information on any of today's stories, please visit us online at voaafrica.com. You can also visit us on Facebook. Just search for In Focus.